Amiskwaciwaskahikan, otherwise known as Edmonton, is a city deeply rooted in arts and culture. Home to diverse, passionate, emerging voices in music who deserve to be heard and appreciated. I'm VISSIA, and this is Dirt City Songbook.
Hello, my name is Matthew Cardinal, and I live in Amiskwaci.
Okay, so thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
For being part of my Dirt City Songbook here.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would like to just start with kind of where Matthew Cardinal comes from.
Like physically? Or
Yeah, it can mean whatever that means to you, but like, yeah, where are you from and what I guess also like your music journey, like what brought you to music?
I grew up in Lac La Biche, Alberta. Big Bay around there too, and I've been in Edmonton for a really long time, like close to 20 years now. I really enjoyed listening to music as a child, and got more and more into it, and decided I wanted to make music. So I kind of started doing that when I was like a teenager. That's the abbreviated version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff were you listening to as a kid that really piqued your interest?
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Classic.
CCR, of course.
Yeah.
And then, like, for my sister, I was hearing a lot of like alternative stuff. Smashing Pumpkins, like, got really into, and like Nirvana and all that. And then, getting older, I kind of branched off of all that and started getting more into like other alternative weird 90s stuff. Not that weird, but like Sonic Youth and Dinosaur Jr. and My Bloody Valentine, and got into Slow Dive and all the Creation Records stuff and 480, and I don't know, just kind of branching out in every direction from that stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, as someone who grew up on, like, classic country, like, Sonic Youth does seem weird to me. Or at least when I first heard them, I was like, I don't understand what's happening, but okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But
I guess so. But compared to that, it's a bit more.
If you're comparing, yeah.
It's a different palette of sounds. Yeah, I guess.
Was there, like, an instrument that you played first?
Guitar. I got an electric guitar when I was a teenager at some age. I can't remember.
Do you remember what kind it was?
Oh, yeah, it was a Fender Mustang. I still have it.
Oh, sweet. So you still have it?
Yeah, it's a great guitar.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Being in Amiskwaci, and have you found that like being in this specific place, especially for so long, has shaped like who you are as in your art and in what you make?
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, I think it's a very easy place to live. Yeah, and I'm sure that helps influence my art. I mean, I'm sure any living condition will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's kind of a nature versus nurture sometimes when you think about it. Is it like, I don't know, sometimes I think regardless of where I am, I'd be making the same music and the same art, but of course environmental influences are always a factor. So
yeah, well, and like we have like lots of winter here.
Yeah,
which is like,
yeah,
I don't know, kind of pushes you underground in a way. You're like, okay.
There's a lot of downtime, a lot of time to work on art. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and so you've released an album a couple years ago now.
Yeah.
And you're working on some new stuff.
Yes.
And you also compose for film. So tell me sort of like, how did you get into that world? We'll touch on that a little bit, and then we'll talk more about.
Yeah, just asking around mostly.
Asking around.
Yeah, just asking who's a filmmaker and letting them know, hey, I'll make music for your thing.
Yeah.
If you want, and I mean, eventually that led to jobs, and then that job, would lead to another job. You're like, oh, I heard your work on this. Do you want to, work on this thing, and just people hearing my music too and reaching out and asking me to, just getting commissioned to compose something for like a piece, whatever it is, dance or an animation or a short film or a documentary. It's a lot of just word of mouth now, I suppose.
Yeah. like growing up, how would you describe yourself like as a kid growing up? Like, were you really outgoing or like a shy kid or?
I don't know. It's probably just a weirdo like I am now. Always. I liked to listen to music. I liked playing video games.
Yeah.
I liked, reading, whatever. I liked music in video games. That was a big thing. It was like, if a game had good music, I was like, yeah, this is a good game.
Oh, sweet.
So I don't know. It's always been like a thing I really focus on, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was just a weird kid. Growing up in Lac La Biche, it's a very small town. So
Yeah.
weird place. There's like 2,000 people live there or something.
Oh, wow. That is small.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that would kind of like really encourage you to find your own interest that way.
I guess.
in a
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. Yeah.
I know sometimes looking back, it's like, what was I even like? I don't know. Like, musically, like where you're at now. Like obviously we've talked about like your musical influences growing up and things like that. But right now, like when you sit down to write music, where does that come from for you? What are you inspired by?
Oh, I'm inspired by, I don't know, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. I mean, when I sit down and I don't know, I think in my head, I want to write a song that sounds like this, and I just hear it, and then I try to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm influenced by all sorts of things. Like, still, like, all the music I listen to and have been listening to for a long time.
Yeah.
And, video games and art and everything.
Yeah. Because your music tends to not be like as like lyric focused, right?
Yeah, not really.
It's more like atmospheric and yeah, I like that a lot though because it more is about the feeling than language, I guess.
Yeah, it's totally it's feeling. It's very intuition based, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it sounds
It's
like.
just gut feeling.
Yeah. Does it like for you on like a personal level, does it feel like that really I don't know, enables you to put certain parts of yourself into something that otherwise you might not know like what to do with them? Does that make sense?
What to do with those parts?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, sometimes there's like, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk about this, but.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, my album is basically a diary. It's a sound diary. That's, all the tracks are the
named
dates.
after dates.
Yeah, it's the dates they were recorded. So it's all unspoken, whether I would like to speak about it or not.
Yeah.
It's a recording of just me making sound on those days.
Totally. And like saying that it's a sound diary too. I just think that's like kind of how I've thought about music in general too, like just as like a recording artist is like you get to look back and it's almost like photo albums or like
absolutely.
And like you take photos too, you take really gorgeous photos.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And you also do collaborations with installations too?
Yeah, I do. Like, I've done sounds on a few like art installations and a few with my collaborator who does my visuals live, Stephanie Koos. And it's kind of almost like scoring in a way sometimes. Sometimes it's a bit more out there and a bit more loose and non-music.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean by non-music? Like
like field recordings, music concrete, just like experimental new music.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's like like people who write music for like prepared piano or something.
Yeah, or even more out there even sometimes. Yeah, it's very it's a whole other world.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like you have a whole universe going on.
There's a lot of stuff.
In terms of like your, I don't know, I'm gonna get cheesy for a minute, but like hopes and dreams around like, you know, creating art and like where you would like to, or I guess like if you do have like a vision of like the future for yourself, or do you think far ahead, or?
Well, I'd like to be able to just work and create whatever it is I'm creating and sustain myself off of that, and you know, sustain my people, my team, whoever's working with me, and just, you know, I want to take care of my people and myself and have everyone be comfy and happy, and to be able to do that with whatever it is I'm doing would be nice.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you're like definitely well on your way to doing that.
Well, I hope so.
Which is like really exciting to see. I don't know, do you feel like any self-consciousness around being an artist at all? Like
I don't know. I mean, in what way?
I guess it's like, how much do you consider the listener that like?
Oh, not much at all. I don't.
That's good. Like, no, that's an answer.
I mean, I'm mostly creating for myself. I think it's good to not. I think it's good to not think about the audience.
Yeah.
I think personally, that's what I do. I want to make what I want to see or what I want to hear or experience, and if someone likes it, that's great.
Yeah.
And if, you know, it's I mean, if I like it, I'm sure someone else would like it. I don't, you know, I don't want to make anything that I don't like. But
100%.
So it's kind of usually an afterthought, or not thought of at all. I just want to make something up to my standards, I guess, is a way to put it.
Yeah, totally. No, it's just like, I know that everyone kind of has their own, idea of like considering the listener or like motivation for creating. So I'm just always curious, like what everyone's after with that. Like, I know you said you were working on some new music for a new album. And so is that kind of a continuation of having that sound diary kind of theme, or?
I mean, not really. No, I think in the way that, like you said, all music that someone would make would be kind of a sound diary. It can be, but I think it's more intentional music, where my first album was largely unintentional music.
Okay.
It was unplanned and, all intuitive. And I think my second album will be a bit more planned and thought out, and maybe have a little bit more structure to it. Still working it out, but
yeah, for sure. But like kind of like an overarching concept, like sort of, or
a concept for the album?
Not so much, just more planning.
I mean, I have ideas, but
yeah, it's still in those stages.
Yeah,
You're kind of like percolating about it.
Yeah,
that's sweet. Well, thanks for speaking with me, and I'm just like really really grateful that you're sharing your time with me. So.
Oh, thank you so much.